So today, I'm going to tell you a little bit what it will be advantages for the graphs and table. Last year, I already started to connect those things and show how easy it can be the table use or the graph usage. And this year, I want to highlight the data that we face daily. It can be friends, some groceries, or financial sector, and sometimes the table would be better. Sometimes the graph is only the way how you can achieve your goal. And this will be I will be talking today. And first, I would start with a little bit timeline for today's talk. And I will start with my career path, then compare SQL and Neo4j, tables and graphs, and I will do a few demos with social friends. Will be one example with simulated data, another example in financial sector with real data, and some daily life data with groceries, again, some real data and comparison. So first I would start with who I am. I born in Kharkiv in Ukraine, and I wrote my first article when I was 18. Then I had a next goal to get my PhD done in 25. And a few years ago, I started the company Alive Math when I was 32. So in a summary, I would say there is a distance like between 7 years in each step of my career. By doing that, initially I was very interested and inspired to do the research and see how data around me, like the medicine, the groceries, everything can be connected. And as I started my first article, then I was involved more, and till now I have 68 publications, as well as I do research and do some practical data projects. I like to share the knowledge, and I teach in academia and work in industry in some companies. And all these years, I was using the Neo4j technology. I brain it when I was creating the data science program in master degree between Ukraine and Italy, when I developed their app Spoon to right now also predict the cravings to medication. And everywhere stay stable the Neo4j because that tool is so advanced, it's so helpful. So let me show and start with examples. If we will look from the table view and from SQL and compare it to Neo4j, we definitely would create the connection between tables in a query time, and it's a long story. While in the graph view, when you design your question, when you design your schema, the connection already in there. And this examples is very illustrative, and I want to add more numerical values here. It's from the book of Neo4j in Action, and we can see like an example with 1 million users over here. The more complexity and depth will be, SQL will be not finishing at all, and Neo4j as much complex the problem you will solve, it will be just in a few seconds. That's it. This is so amazing, this is so powerful, and this is a very great start to learn and use it on as daily basis as in your project and guarantee that it will be successful. And by the 2025 year, this technology will be growing much more. So let's move into the example. And here you can see the table. There's about groceries and the prices in different states and cities. When we look on the table, we can summarize, we can sort it. This is kind of helpful, but when you look inside on this sheet, it's very hard to navigate. It's hard to recognize like these numbers are so small comparable to others, and easy answer the question, what exactly in which state will be higher or lower? And moving next, if we look on the graph view, the same data, we have schema, and their connections and the size of the graph will be corresponded to the value. So it could be more precisely to detect whatever you need to focus your attention on a specific part of the data. Let's consider the comparison between. So sometimes it could be better use the table if you can just sort or you can just find something, or if you needed to visualize it better, then the graph will be more advanced. And if we will look on the social connections between friends and consider their table between their friend and how much time spent on communication, if we will zoom in and out this graph, it will be really um, a lot of data points and probably hard to navigate. So in the graph, in the application itself, when you connect their database and you need to make recommendation or whatever, uh, you cluster the data and you narrow down the area where it could be possible solution for specific task. The next example, move next, sorry, with finance. We have expenses and a few numerical columns. When we design their schema, like expenses has price and price in the state. Open the link. What? Sorry. Will be without link. I can open it here. So all the links for the data and for the code will be available, so you can easily replicate all my example and see it. It's very convenient to use their Google Docs to collect all the things together when you just start developing your first app or the first data. So here you can see my first example with names and friends. In order to connect their Google Sheets and the Neo4j, I use the CSV link and make sure when you connect, by the end you see their CSV file. Then it's intuitive when you have your column's name and you design your schema. So first, in order to create nodes, you would load the data. Here I have some limit because my data points have 500 rows, and I use the command merge to make sure their names are not duplicated, and the numerical values converted to integer. So we have some minutes in here. That's communication between two friends. And creating a relationship, it's again very easy since we already have two nodes, two types of the nodes in it, as a person and as a time. And the next, in order to make connections, we will use the command match, just find that person and find that friend, find the time that was in communication between them, and
Kateryna,
then we can merge. Yep.
sorry to interrupt, but we can see your slide, but we cannot see your screen. So we still see the tables versus graphs, finance, expenses, real data, table, and the three nodes.
Oh, sorry. How I can? It's another tab. I apologize.
You probably, yeah.
I will
Either you
share.
share the whole desktop or share,
I
screen.
share the code. Yes. Yeah. Oh, you should be stopping me early. Do you see right now?
It's coming up. Now I see it, yes.
Oh, perfect. Sorry
All right.
about that. I will start at the beginning a little bit remind. So the code, when I was prompted from my presentation to this page, it collects all together as a table view, as a graph view. And before you jump into the code, it's very convenient for you to have it handy in front so you don't mess up any names, any spelling between the table and your model that design it. And the first chunk of the code, I would say it will be related to the creating nodes. And this is how you can navigate to your spreadsheet. So you will be loading their data from their Google Sheets and make sure at the end it's CSV. Then you create nodes. Once it's already there, then you create a relationships by using the two command match and then merge person communicated minutes with the friend. So that should be very straightforward to have it running. The next example, what I was showing in the presentation for the living cost per month. Uh, this is here we have expenses, Virginia, Florida, California data, and the data schema expenses has a price in the state to apply here, and you can replicate it on your data. That is very easy. When you create nodes, you need to have URL where you want to get this data. Then you create nodes for expenses for Virginia, Florida, California. So you have those bubbles, and you next thing you connect, find the node, find another node, and connect. This same strategy applied for each state. So you can see for California, I did the same. And the last example was shopping and groceries. We have city, state, product, price, unit, quality. A little bit more longer schema, but the same strategy. Product has a price in the city located at state. First, that we remember it's nodes. So we load link where we want to have data. We have nodes, make sure that the numerical value is converted to proper format, to float or integer. The text will be loaded automatically. Once everything done here, the relationship, you'd find what you already created and then merge it and have those amazing connections. I will stop sharing the coding and move to their presentation back so you can see it. Okay. I hope you can see the presentation now. So when we will visualize their data in the graph view for their expenses, I use the Neo4j Bloom, and we can see as comparison the size and the color for their California, for example, for mortgage payment. The more bigger size of the node you have, the more bigger prices we see here. For the groceries, again, there is a lot of connections, but if you zoom in and out in Neo4j Bloom, you will definitely make it more concrete to discover patterns and see the data more visually and represent it comparable between the tables and the graph view. That's probably all what I want to share today. So all their links and the code will be shared with you. What I would like to tell that every data that you see around or you work with in your workplace, it can be converted to the graph, but make sure it will worth the timing. Sometimes it's, as I mentioned before, the table, and if you need just summarize and make it easy, some sorting, that the table would be have more advantages that in the graph view. But if it is something more powerful, if it is their project or a long time project, that I would definitely recommend to use the graph. For all the project I worked, I come back to my first slide where it was started with table. I mean, all these projects, and I help them make this conversion to the graph, because or it was not working properly, or they have not enough data to start. I mean, especially of this, and there is no that we start this prediction. With the land value, it was also same there the beginning of their application start, and some data was diverse or not reliable at all, so we could not move anything further. And Neo4j helped. In healthcare, we use the sensor data right now. It's too much. It's like every single second we get the data from pulse, from oxygen, and this kind of like this mass. And in order to organize it, in order to make it better and have a good prediction, this tool is extremely helpful. And I continue to do like two things, and this is my contacts. I teach in university as associate professor in data science, and in my courses I also add the Neo4j part technology, and I see how students interested in this, like at least try and see the difference between those tables and graphs. As a founder of my company, I continue help other companies to make this conversion from the table to graph, and help make their products much better. What stays stable with me no matter where I work and what I do, it's my LinkedIn channel and YouTube channel. You can have here my contacts. Um, that's all for today. And if you have any questions, I'm open to answer.